Welcome to my videos, again, hopefully, if you've been watching. This is a Sega Saturn of mine, from Japan, that has a very strange problem. That's not good. If you have a look in there, it's doing all sorts of crazy things. I don't think it knows what's going on. So I'll just put it out of its misery for now. What I'm going to try, oh, get zoomed in there, I'll just zoom out a bit so you can see the Saturn, is changing a chip on the, I've confirmed it is just the CD deck assembly by switching it from another Saturn. But that's not enough. I need to, I would like to fix this because I don't have that many spare decks. So I went through all the microchips, or the big ones that you can see. I found this one around here on the side. Let's see if I can get a bit of a zoom in for you. That little one there with the white label on top. Now, a bit of research led me to find that that chip controls the motors. And since what's going absolutely berserk is the motors, I figured, why not buy one? So I bought one, and now I'm going to try and repair the board. Been waiting a while to get this one done, so I'll be looking forward to seeing how it turns out and whether I'm actually any good at this sort of repair. So if you've seen my other videos, you've seen my other failures. So let's give this one a shot and see if we can give it a second chance at life. So I'll be back in a second. CD deck. So the goal is to desolder that chip, so you need a few things. Soldering iron would be good, some fresh solder, and I'm going to use desolder braid at first. I do have a solder sucker. I tend to prefer the braid though. You can actually see what's happening. So we'll give that a go and see what happens. Here is the microchip I got. It's about $5 US. Wow, those are some quite long pins. So, give it a go. Now I've got to wait for my soldering iron to heat up, which I should have thought about beforehand, so I'll cut and come back. And we're back. Soldering iron's nice and hot now. So all that's left to be done is desolder a microchip. So of course I've tinned my soldering iron. And got the braid right here. Man, that's a lot of pins. Oh dear, this is going to take ages. Why do I always get suckered into doing stuff like this? Well, the solder comes away pretty good. It's got a lot of effort. I forgot how quick solder braid gets hot. And I really need to cut a little bit of it off, and I have no access to scissors at the moment. There we go, getting some progress now. Got nothing. That's better. Yeah, I really need to cut the end off this. Ow! Never forget, heat is conductive. Oh, the camera's crooked. Why does no one tell me these things? Scissors. Got all these discs in the way. Nail clippers will do the job. Good. So far I've cleared a few on this side. Let's go back to this first one again. Much better. So there's 2, 4, 5-ish. Got 6 to go. Just drag it along. No worries. Burn myself with solder braid. No worries. If this works, I get pizza for dinner. So if it doesn't work, I'll eat canned tuna for a week. Okay, that side's done. No idea if this is still in frame. It's in frame! Love how well solder braid works when you need it to work. It really is fantastic stuff. Oh, missed one. Okay, they all look pretty desoldered. Oh, there's 2 sides. Ah, hot! It's all good. Alright, so let's get the camera up. Let's have a quick look at the damage I've done. As you can see, the joints are no longer there. You can actually see the holes in the PCB. And a few burn marks. Yes, yes. I blame it on the age of the technology. So, heat. There we go, just poke it through, all good. No, it's going to need a bit more heat. Heat gun would be good. I'm going to go get my heat gun. For all of you who don't remember me using a heat gun previously, it's probably better that you don't go back and look at any videos, because there's nothing but pain and suffering. So my heat gun is good. Temperature set at, I have no idea, 280, 300, 320. It's apparently the temperature to be. So flat blade and heat gun in hand. Put the flat blade under the microchip. Give it a bit of leverage. And just warm. Yeah, it's starting to move. Be very careful not to bump any of these trim pots and whatnot. Oh, it's just coming out now. it realises it has no reason to be in there. Except that end, which won't come out. Please come out. Came out. No, it was actually heated to 400 and something. I don't know how that happened. That's all good. So the giant, it goes in that way. Always remember how the chip went in. It's usually a pretty important thing. And don't get it stuck in the middle of the... yeah, don't get it stuck in there either. It's quite hot. So the chip is out. That's good. So this one's got marking 604194. Batch codes or something. And now there's just nothing there where it was. And there's the notch. Why didn't I pay attention? I'm going to have to stop the camera and just go look at my pictures to remember which way around it was. Alright, I worked out which way it goes in, which is good. Thankfully, I am good. All good. So, chip will just go in now and see what happens. Is it another $5 wasted? And we're back for the 8th time. The microchip's in. Got my very fine solder here and a soldering iron with a nice fine point tip. Of course, I've only just turned it on, so I'll have to wait for it to actually heat up. Really looking forward to playing some Sega Saturn tonight. Why has the tip of my soldering iron gone so rusty? Oh, look at that. Shiny and new. Give it a good tin. Beautiful. I think this particular one is a 40-watt iron. Yeah, it is. Bit overkill. It's probably the least safe of all my soldering irons, but it's my favourite. Maybe I like getting burned. So, soldering. So you should have used your desolder braid to make sure all these pads were nice and clean, and then cleaned it up with a bit of isopropyl, or in my case methylated spirits, whatever you've got on hand, and then add a bit of flux. Otherwise you're going to get crap like that happening. Bridges. So I'm going to go get my flux pen and add that flux right now. Directions. To press cap. Am I meant to shake it? It doesn't say to shake it, but I'm shaking it anyway. So flux. Oh god, that's a lot of flux. He's hoping it actually helps. It's just evaporating. Solder. There we go. Gosh, flux makes a difference. It is not very good for breathing. Tasty. Tasty like death. Yeah. Ah, good old respiratory system irritation or damage. To the other side. Maybe the solder is a little bit too fine. Yeah, so when I said add flux, I actually meant add flux. Makes it a lot easier. I thought I could just get away without adding it. Boy, was I a fool. Done. So when that's done, give it a second or two to cool. Turn off your soldering iron so you don't accidentally step on it in a few minutes. And probably best to get a multimeter and just make sure you didn't bridge any of the pins. You can also use a magnifying glass to check your work. But thanks to flux, it looks pretty good. Switch your multimeter over to continuity. Check. And start tapping. Those two meant to join. Anyway, just check the continuity, make sure everything's okay. This is going to take me a while. Alright, so here it is. Power on test. Don't know if that's a good thing. Didn't catch fire. Ah. Such a peaceful noise. Guess that CD deck's going in the bin. Damn.